Starting today's look with Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water to prep and refresh my skin, to add a little bit of hydration to my dry skin from the winter. And then I'm going to go ahead and use Urban Decay's Primer Potion to prep my lids for shadow. And then I also like to just throw on some of this Pur-lisse Lip Conditioner for a little bit of a hydration treatment while I do the rest of my makeup. And then I'm going to go ahead and use Smashbox Photo Finish Pore Minimizing Primer. This is an oil-free mattifying oil control primer. It helps reduce the texture and appearance of pores so that your foundation can really lay nicely on your skin. I find it very, very similar to Benefit's Porefessional Primer. And the palette that I'm working from today is from Pure Cosmetics. It's the Soiree Diaries palette. And the first shade that I'm starting out with is Private Party. It's a gorgeous cream shade with just a hint of pink. And I'm just taking a large, fluffy, like blender brush, and I'm just sweeping that from the base of my eyelashes all the way up to my lash bone. And then I'm going in with Gala, and this is a beautiful transition color. It is a neutral brown with a touch of taupe, and I'm just taking that on a fluffy blender again and just working that into my crease as my initial transition shade. And then I'm just going back in with Splurge, and it's just a step up from the color that we just used. It's a mid-tone brown, and I'm just using that on the same brush to go ahead and further deepen my crease. And then I'm picking up the shade Stunner. It's a warm cocoa brown. It has a little bit of a bronze coppery tone to it, but it's still matte. And then I'm going to go ahead and just focus that on the outer portion of my eye to start to build up some depth and definition there. And then I'm also going to sweep that into the crease a little bit to start to warm that up as well. And then I'm going in with a completely just naked brush, and I'm just going to blend all of those colors together to create a seamless transition between all of them. I'm picking up the color Epic. It's a dark brownish black, and I'm just taking that in small amounts and really concentrating it in the outer portion of my eye to really just carve out and contour that outer eye area there, that outer V. And I'm just very lightly sweeping that and diffusing it around, not spreading this around too much because I really just want to focus it exactly where I want it. And then I'm going to take MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. And I'm just using this with a flat concealer brush, and I'm just carving out the inner half portion of my lid. I'm just laying that down in thin, even layers just to lay down the next color and have it pop a little bit more vibrantly. I'm just using my finger to stamp that down. Sometimes you just have to work with it with your fingers too to really get it a nice even blend. And then I'm going in with the color Twinkle, which is a rose gold shimmer. And I am going to wet my brush with a little bit of that primer water that we used in the beginning. And this is just going to help the color pop and encourage a little bit more vibrancy in the finish. And I'm just packing that on to that portion of the lid where I just carved out with the paint pot. And then I'm just going in with a blender, and I'm just kind of blending everything together just to make everything flow smoother. The trick to making everything look nice and seamless is just to blend it out. And then I'm taking a clean makeup wipe, and I'm just cleaning up any fallout and also slicing up that edge of that eyeshadow a little bit. And the foundation that I'm using is the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy+Smooth foundation, and I'm in the shade Classic Ivory. I am applying this with a flat top kabuki brush from Coastal Scents. and it kept shedding on me, so you'll see me picking those little hairs off my face. And then I'm using the Benefit Erase Paste, which is actually not known as Erase Paste anymore. I'm in the shade Fair. It's actually now being marketed as the Boi-ing Brightening Concealer, but I still have it as Erase Paste, so that's what I'm using. It is a full coverage creamy concealer. It has a lot of pink undertones to help color correct any blue tones, any dark circles, so I love to lay that down underneath my concealer. And then I'm using the Wet n Wild Photofocus Concealer. And I'm in the shade Light Ivory, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply that right on top of that erase paste and then buff it out. This concealer is great for a high coverage formula. It's super creamy. It's white cast free, so you're not going to have that when you take any photos or flash photography. And I like it. I think it's a great affordable option for a concealer from the drugstore. I also like to dot that on the tip of my nose to lift it up a little bit and down the center of my forehead, on my chin, just to highlight, bring all those features forward a little bit. Favorite product to set my under eye area is the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I am using the lightest shade. I find that this just really locks in my concealer and also just sets all those areas that we highlighted. And I love the fact that it kind of brightens and sets everything all in one step. Just easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I'm using Benefit's Hoola bronzer to bring some life back to my very fair, colorless face there, just to build up some warmth back into my skin. I'm just using that along my cheekbones, down my jawline, my neck, and also on the temples of my forehead. Using my NARS Ita brush and the Hoola bronzer, and I'm just kind of sculpting out my nose a little bit. Just chisel it down. And then I'm using the taupe brown shade in the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm just going to use that to contour out my cheekbones and just give me that chiseled appearance. I'm also going to run that along the border of my forehead, just blend out that nose contour a little bit, go into my jawline a little bit. And then I'm using RCMA No Color Powder to set my face. This is my favorite translucent powder, other than the Laura Mercier. I think they're both interchangeable. And then I also like to use this same powder in a very like dense, narrow contour brush, and I just like to carve out my contour and bake that area a little bit. I don't tend to bake my under eye area too much, especially in the winter, because I do find that with my dry skin, it just helps encourage the appearance of that dry, crepey, textured look. So I stick to baking more my contour area, my chin, my forehead, a little bit of my nose, those areas that tend to get a little bit oilier. And then for blush today, I'm using Tarte's Pate, and I'm just taking that and just sweeping it along the apples of my cheeks and blending it back up into where I contoured and bronzed my cheekbones there. And then I'm just going to start filling in my brows. Just take my time combing them upwards, making a really weird face. And my color in the Anastasia Brow Wiz pencil is medium brown. I tend to switch between medium brown and dark brown. Today it was medium brown that I grabbed. And I just like to go ahead and just start. I start with the underneath the brow and just take turns alternating between combing the product through and adding and shaping and figuring out where I want my arch to be. And just taking my time, filling in, combing out, filling in, combing out. And I am only using the brow pencil. I'm not using any further wax or pomade or powders. I'm just sticking with the pencil for today. And then I'm going in with, this is Mogul from the Pure Cosmetics palette that we used. And it's just a vanilla creamy shade. And I'm just taking that and just running it along the underneath of the brow, along the brow bone, to just kind of highlight and lift up that brow area a little bit. Then I'm going in with Gala again, and I'm using that to warm up my lower lash line and start defining that area a little bit. And then I am going to mix Splurge with Stunner on a fluffier brush, and I'm going to just use those to smoke out the bottom lash line. And then I do go back in with a little bit of Epic, and I just kind of add that to the outer corner there just to tie it in with the top. And for my waterline, I'm using the Lorac's Front of the Line Pro Eye Pencil in the shade Antique Gold. And then I'm just going to go ahead and sweep away the excess powder from the bake. And then I'm just going to go ahead and curl my lashes. And then I'm going to use the L'Oreal Voluminous Pro Lash Base. It's a white lash primer that you just put underneath your mascara to really help just really voluminize and juice up your lashes a little bit. And for my mascara, I'm using the L'Oreal Voluminous Feline Noir mascara. I'm getting a kick out of the leopard cap because I love leopard. I like this wand because it has those like rubbery bristles, so they really work well at lengthening and separating your lashes and really making them look defined. Then I'm going to go ahead and use MAC Fix Plus spray just to eliminate any chalky or powderiness that might be left on the skin. And then I'm going to go in with my Ochre Rodeo Drive highlighter. And I like to use this while my skin is just a little bit tacky from the Fix Plus, but not completely dry or completely wet, just like somewhere in between, because it really sticks and like helps the highlighter just pop and just shimmer a little bit more vibrantly. I'm using a little pencil brush just to brighten up the inner corner of my eyes. And then I'm also going to just dust that on the button of my nose for the ultimate Rudolph effect. And then I'm taking that same highlighter on a big crown fan brush, and I'm just dusting it up my nose a little bit more, along the high points of my cheekbones. I'm going to dust that on the Cupid's bow. I'm also going to put a little bit on my chin and on my temples, just to glow and glisten, which is completely appropriate for this time of year. And then I just like to take my beauty blender and I just like to just stamp over the areas that we applied the highlighter just to make it look a little bit more natural and just sit nicely on the skin. And then to line my lips, I'm using ColourPop's Lippy Pencil in the shade Juju Rouge. And this was from the Jamie King Alchemy collaboration that she did with them last year. However, this is a cool-toned, medium-toned red, so I think that it's easily dupable. I'll try to find some dupes and link them below. And then for my lip color today, I'm using the Lip Sense long wearing lipstick in the shade Fly Girl. And this is my pick for my top holiday color and formula for a lipstick. And the reason for that being, I don't have to worry about red lipstick being all over my wine glass because red is my favorite lipstick to wear in the holidays and year-round, but especially for the holidays. But I find that this is just my favorite shade and I don't have to worry about ruining my in-laws' wine glasses. So I just do this in 3 even coats. For some reason I only showed doing 2 coats, but I assure you I did do 3. And you just want to make sure you work in even layers and let it dry in between for a few seconds. And then I also like to let it dry for like 10 seconds at the end before I top it with the gloss. And I'm just using the accompanying lip gloss topper, and this is in the matte formula. And that just kind of seals it on and helps it sit more comfortable on my lips. And that's it. That's the finished look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I wish everyone a happy, merry, wonderful holiday season. I hope your days are filled with love and laughter and gratitude and positive energy, and sending you all the good vibes from my family to yours. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.